morning. Shalom and blessings to everyone. I thank you for stopping by and watching my video. And I did start another video and was finished praying. And then I looked, and for some reason my video stopped. I don't understand. But I'm going to try this again. I do think that, or I hope and pray, that I fixed my problem that I was having with my phone doing like half of my teaching and then going to a different video. So I'm pretty sure that I fixed that. So I guess I'm going to cut out some of the things that I talked about because they're just not worth talking about again. And just something got me frustrated earlier, and I don't like someone coming against me, especially when I'm trying to share the truth and then they come against you like you don't know anything. And the things that I do share, I do know what I'm saying. So I don't know why people like to tear others down like that and act like they don't know anything. But that's okay. I've been praying that all my frustration goes out, so we'll be able to I'll be able to read this teaching, and both of us, or all of us, can actually learn something and get a peace about it. So let's go ahead and pray, which my prayer earlier was really good. But oh well. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you again to praise your wonderful, glorious name. We thank you for everything that you have done for us, Father. And Father, touch this teaching. You know what I'm going to teach. Open the words up to us so we could understand and get a deep grasp of everything that you have done for us. Open our eyes to see what wondrous strength and power that you have for us. Let us understand how your power, your strength is living within us. Help us get a hold of that, Father, and help change our lives. Help us build our faith up more and more and more, and help others that comes to stop by and listening to these videos. Let them understand that I am just like them. I'm learning and seeking you in your truth and trying to understand everything that you have done for us and the Messiah and how glorious and wonderful it all is. And we think we know so much, but in reality we only know maybe 1% of everything that you have done for us. Open our minds and our hearts to receive your truth and give us your knowledge and wisdom and give us understanding. Help us understand your truth. Without understanding, we can't rely on you. We need your understanding to move forward, to show people that you are still powerful, that you can still do all these glorious, wonderful things. We thank you and praise your precious name. And in the name of Emmanuel, we pray. Salah. Thank you, Father. Okay. And I made it quick because I didn't want it to stop. You may not realize. Okay. We are reading Lesson 2, Be a Witness, which, of course, it's backwards. Sorry. Okay. I got everything prepared. I did not write notes because I was working on my other teaching, which maybe in a little bit I'll go ahead and do my teaching. I've been putting it off, but maybe I'll do it today. The way to start something is actually to put your foot forward and do it. Say, stop procrastinating. And that's something that I need to overcome. And stop making up excuses and say, I'm tired. Just do it. And I have a bad problem with that. Okay, so, Lesson 12, Be a Witness. When they therefore were come together, they asked him, saying, Messiah, will you at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times or the seasons, which the Father had put in his own power. Acts 1:6-7. This book was written by a Baptist preacher, and they use a lot of the pagan names, which the teaching, all in all, I believe is pretty good. You know, there's a couple things in here that is his own thoughts, not led by this Ruach Kodesh. So I kind of changed the pagan words, the pagan names, to more of the true words that it's supposed to be. And I don't speak Hebrew, so some of them are kind of hard, and I don't know all of them. So forgive me if I say it wrong and you know better. I'm willing to learn. So just don't take it as I say, because I could be saying something really off track. But I'm taking the initiative to take the pagan things out to replace them with truth. And saying that, I forgot last teaching I was going to find out more of the pagan words so I could change them in the teachings so I don't say the wrong types of words. But I forgot. My week's been crazy. My personal life has just been crazy. So I'm sorry, I apologize. I do have to do that. I do. Please remind me to do that, because that is serious. A lot of the words that are used in Christianity have been changed from the original word, the word that it's supposed to be. They were changed on purpose to deceive us. And once you start studying the words themselves, you'll realize what I'm saying. So, let's go ahead and continue with the teaching. I remember a guy who wrote a book prophesying 88 reasons why Emmanuel would return in 1988. I talked with some people who honestly believed what he said was true. With all of their hearts, they were counting on Emmanuel to come back in 1988. Of course, it did not happen. So then he wrote a book detailing 89 reasons why Emmanuel would return in 1989. And people bought that book too. The guy totally missed it. Yet a bunch of his followers, sorry, my nose is itching for some reason. The guy totally missed it. That a bunch of folks, a lot of people, still came out and swallowed the very next thing he had to say. How dumb can you get and still breathe? You know, when I find someone messed up the first time, that would make me think, hey, you are not being led by the Ruach HaKodesh. I'm not listening to you no more. I'm sorry, my niece came in here. I guess they're fixing to go to the store and she was excited. She thought I was going to. She's a cutie pie. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, this guy keeps saying all these crazy things. You know, if you are taught by the Ruach HaKodesh and guided by the Ruach HaKodesh, you won't be wrong. Not like this. So this guy said, let's see what, 1, 2, 3, whatever times, you know, he knew the Messiah was coming back. He's like, yeah, I wrote, you know, he wrote a book and people believed him. You know, the first time came and gone. And then the next time he did it, and people still believed him. And then after that came and gone, and then he did something else and they believed him then. You should use your common sense. You know, say, hey, brain, think. If someone tells you something, and then maybe, you know, the first time you're like, well, maybe he's true. Maybe he's, you know, this and this. But then if the date comes and goes, and whatever it is don't happen, and then he says, oh, next time this will happen. Don't believe it. Use your common sense. Yahuah gave us a brain. We have to use it. We have to think, say, hey, something don't seem right. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't be afraid to think like that. You definitely don't know what you're talking about, dude. Okay, Acts 1, 6 through 7 is saying that you cannot know the time or the season that the Messiah is coming back to fully establish his kingdom. If someone tells you that they know and they're predicting some date, then you could just write Ichabod across their forehead. That's Old Testament terminology for the glory has departed. 1 Samuel 4:21. I guarantee you that you are in deception, and what they're saying is not of Yahuah. I do not agree with this. Those that are really, who have separated themselves from the world, who are living their lives for Yahuah, who are walking blameless in the world, who are being led and taught by the Ruach HaKodesh, they can decipher things in the true scriptures. They will not know the time and hour and second. You know, they won't be able to pinpoint, but they know pretty much when it will happen. But for us believers, we don't really care. You know, we don't care when it's going to happen. We just know it's going to happen. And there's some that, like Enoch, you know, there's some that are walking perfect. You know, they just perfect. And you don't think that they know a lot of the secrets that go on? I believe they do. They don't run their mouth, they don't brag about it, and they're not prideful. Because they're perfect, you know, perfect in Yahuah, which people don't understand what that truly means. But that's not what I want to get into. I was just saying that immediately after the Messiah said, you don't have power or authority concerning those kinds of things, because the Father has reserved them for himself. He continued, saying, But you shall receive power after that the Ruach HaKodesh is come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. Acts 1:8. See, before we are baptized with the Ruach HaKodesh and filled with His Spirit, the Spirit of Yahuah, we really don't know nothing. But once the Ruach HaKodesh comes, we are changed on the inside, and it changes us through the outside. But it is up to us to seek the truth and allow the change to happen. And then we will be taught. The scriptures tell us that the Spirit of truth will come, which, if we have the Spirit of truth within us, then why are we not seeking the truth? The truth is already in us. We just have to seek it. A lot of people don't understand that, and I'm learning that myself. Okay, the Messiah told his disciples, you will have power to be a witness. Think about it. The Messiah would never give you a position without also giving you the authority to execute and accomplish what he has told you to do. So with this power to be a witness comes an authority to be a witness, and all the responsibility that goes along with it. Through people, Peter exercised the power and authority to be a witness when he followed Yahuah's leading to Cornelius' house. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, and one that feared Yahuah with all his house, which gave much alms to people and prayed to Yahuah always. He saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of Yahuah coming to him, saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid, and said, What is it? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before Yahuah. And now send men to Joppa, and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. He lodges with one Simon, a tanner, whose house is by the sea. He shall tell you what you ought to do. Acts 10:1-6. An angel appeared to the centurion and said, Cornelius, you're a devout man. Yahuah heard your prayers. Now send to Joppa and ask for Peter. He will come and tell you how to be born again. Why didn't this angel tell Cornelius the gospel? It would have been much more effective than sending men on a 2 journey one way to bring Peter back. Why didn't this angel just tell him how to be born again? The answer is simple. Yahuah gave power and authority to people to preach the gospel, not to angels. Angels don't have the authority to preach the gospel. We do. Yahuah has limited himself to preaching the gospel through people. Yahuah's plan is for us to preach the truth of the gospel and for people to hear it and be born again through the incorruptible seed of Yahuah's word. However, Satan has come in through religious teaching saying you don't have to share Yahuwah's word. Just pray them into the kingdom. So now there are all these Christians who are praying and asking Yahuwah to save people, and they never share the gospel with them. I've actually met people before who say they are prayer warriors who never get out of their closet. Their prayer lists are so long they cannot even read it all in an hour. They diligently work through their lists and pray for everybody, but they won't witness to a neighbor. They don't talk to people at the grocery store. They won't speak to the mailman. They don't share the word with anyone, but they're praying for a great move of Yahuwah. That's deception. It doesn't happen that way. You cannot bring a person into the kingdom of Yahuwah through prayer alone. Faith comes by hearing. You have to be born again by the incorruptible seed of Yahuwah's word. Being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of Yahuwah, which lives and abides forever. 1 Peter 1:23. Yahuwah's word is the seed. It must be planted in the ground. That is a person's heart. It's also like sowing a seed in the womb of a woman. You cannot conceive a child apart from a seed being sown. There is only one virgin birth, and there isn't going to be another. You must get out of your prayer closet and sow the seed of Yahuwah's words. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahuwah. Romans 10:17. You cannot be born again without faith, and that faith comes through the seed of Yahuwah's word. Plant the seed. You do not get pregnant through prayer. You can receive healing through prayer, which may affect your ability to get pregnant, but you do not get pregnant through prayer. I have prayed with many couples that were unable to have children and have seen them conceive supernaturally, but my prayer was not what made them pregnant. One time a woman came forward and asked me to pray that she would get pregnant. Right before I put my hands on her, I felt impressed to ask, "Are you married?" And she answered, "No, I'm not." I pulled my hands back real quick. I wasn't going to have anything to do with this lady getting pregnant if she was married. That's not Yahuwah's will. Prayer does not make you pregnant. You have to plant that seed. Many Christians are praying for people to be born again, but they are not praying about planting the seed. They're not praying for someone to come across their path and preach the gospel to them. Matthew 9:38. Oh, my nose. They are not asking the Ruach HaKodesh to bring back to their memory the words Yahuwah already has spoken to them. They're just thinking that they can pray somebody into the kingdom. That violates the power and authority Yahuwah has given us. That violates the power and authority Yahuwah gave us when he told us to go preach the gospel. The angel did not tell Cornelius how to get saved. Peter, a physical human being, had to do that. You need to understand that Yahuwah gave the power, authority, and responsibility for preaching the gospel to people. The Messiah, I get confused. Yahuwah gave the Messiah the power and authority, and the Messiah gave the power and authority to us. You may have been praying for someone for up to 10 years, but you're frustrated and wondering why isn't, excuse me, you may have been praying for someone for umpteen years, but you're frustrated and wondering why isn't Yahuah saving this person. It is because you are not praying right. You're asking Yahuah to save them as if there were something he could do. He has already done his part to provide salvation through the death, burial, and resurrection of our Messiah. The Messiah commissioned us to preach the gospel. If that person has not received salvation, it's either because they are not hearing the true gospel, or they're choosing to reject it. It's not Yahuah or the Messiah who isn't saving that individual. There are ways you can pray to speed things up and enable the Ruach HaKodesh to minister to this person more. But just saying and asking Yahuah, please save them, it's useless. That's not how the Word teaches us to do it. The truth. You may be tempted to be offended right now, feeling like I'm saying Yahuah is limited in power. No, I am saying that Yahuah has limited himself by his own word. He told us to preach the gospel. And the Messiah said, go, preach. He said that people are born again by the incorruptible seed of Emmanuel's word. If we do not follow his instructions, then we cannot expect the proper results. If you choose to say, well, Yahuah, I am not going to talk to them. I don't want to get out there and risk suffering any embarrassment, shame, or persecution that might come by me speaking the word. I'm just going to pray in my closet and believe that you're going to do a miracle. Then you're just spitting in the wind. It is not going to work, because that is not how the kingdom operates. I'm telling you the truth in love. If we ask Yahuah or the Messiah to save someone, but don't know what he has commanded us to do, which is preach the gospel and be a witness, then it isn't going to happen. People must be born again through the word of Yahuah, the words of the Messiah. Prayer does not cause people to be born again. Prayer may help once you have already shared the gospel, but it's not a substitute for doing what Yahuah has told you to do. People don't get born again through prayer. They get born again through hearing the truth. Hold on. Someone keeps sending me messages. It's distracting me. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. The devil has deceived many of us into just praying and asking Emmanuel to do what he has commanded us to do. He's commanded us to preach the gospel. Cornelius had an angel appear to him in response to his prayers, but the angel did not preach the gospel to him. Instead, he told him to send men to Joppa to bring Peter back to tell them how to be born again. Angels do not have the authority to preach the gospel. Emmanuel did not commit that to them. It is our responsibility. Yahuah loves people. Our Messiah loves people. I spend a lot of time just fellowshipping and communicating with Emmanuel. The vast majority of my prayer life is worshiping Yahuah, thanking Emmanuel and asking him for wisdom and instruction. As far as my ministry to others, I ask him to help me speak his word with clarity and boldness. I pray that he would give me revelation, knowledge, and better ways of communicating to others. Which reminds me, here a couple years ago, was it maybe 2-3 years ago, I typed out I forgot what it's called. The armor. Well, my mind went blank. The armor of Yahuah. I typed it out, and every day when I woke up, before I went out, before I went to work, I used to say that every day as my prayer. Which, that would be a good thing to get back into. Okay. However, I do not spend any time asking Yahuah to move and save people. I don't say, Emmanuel, please touch their hearts and cause them to be born again. That's because I know that his love, I know he loves them more than I do. I'm convinced that he wants to touch their lives and see them born again. I don't plead with him saying, please love these people and move in their lives. Since he is love, he's led me to do everything I can, including broadcasting daily programs on television and radio and around the world, giving away lots of free material on my website, translating my books into multiple languages, and starting new branches of the Bible College all the time to share the truth of Yahuah's word with as many people as possible. Emmanuel knows that as people receive the truth into their hearts, it will make them free. Since I know that Yahuah already loves people and wants to minister to them, I don't spend any time pleading with him to please love, touch, and move in these people's lives. I'm aware that what I'm sharing is different from the way many people pray. However, most people are not getting very good results from their prayer lives. If that's you, maybe you ought to try something different. What I'm telling you about is working. Politics and prayer. When I first started in the ministry, I used to plead